Hey everyone, I'll start by wishing everybody a happy anniversary of the moon landing. Or the launch for the moon landing, at least the launch of Apollo 11. So on July 16, 1969, as we all know, Neil Armstrong counted down from 10 and he set off to the moon. It was a 3-day trip at the time. I think today we can do a little bit better. At the time it was a 3-day trip, but I got ripped off on Craigslist over this. So I guess it will leave a small mark on my feelings about this anniversary, but it's okay. It's okay, I'm still okay. I didn't get hurt, What had happened was I had responded to an ad on Craigslist. They were looking for somebody to play an astronaut for the moon landing because the anniversary was coming up. This was 2 months ago. And I replied saying I was interested in finding out. To be honest, I wasn't interested in the role. I was interested in meeting people with a common interest. I often like to stargaze, and I'm definitely going to be looking forward to looking at the full moon tonight, actually, on the 50th anniversary of when man first walked on the moon. I'm looking forward to viewing that, but I often do this alone. And I thought going to this audition would be a good way to find people with common interest. And so I replied to them, and it turned out, and this is a problem with Craigslist, it turned out to be this modeling agency. And that's a letdown, because I'm thinking I'm going there to meet people and perhaps do the role today. I'm not thinking about signing up for this agency to look at other roles that are available. That's a common problem on Craigslist nowadays. So they generalize away too much from the task on hand, and a lot of times there's so many hoops to jump through just to land a gig that might last 2 hours. You might spend 10 hours jumping through all these hoops. I could go on and on about this, but the point is I wanted to meet people who knew a little bit about space, and I ended up getting into a completely different arena. But that's okay. I thought I'd chat something up with this person who was running this agency. So I looked at his portfolio. He was the first thing he showed me when I got there was all these checks that people had made doing gigs with him. I wasn't interested in any of that. I wasn't there to make money. But he shows me these checks that have 3, 4, 5 digits on them. And I tell him, wow, but really, I'm not that interested. And I'll say, well, what is his role about? He said, we do all sorts of things. And he showed me how he had done this forensics TV show. And I love forensics as well. And we start chatting up about, my favorite case was the John List case, where the sculptor had put together some art showing what John List would look like 20 years after he went on the run. And the psychologist had figured out what kind of glasses he would likely be wearing, and they went on America's Most Wanted, and he got caught. And so we were chatting about that case, and then he told me that there was this sign-up fee to get my portfolio and to get my photo taken, and he says $350. And I'm still in a chatty mood, and I didn't think very much of it, and I'm thinking it's $3.50, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I pay $5, $10 for stupid stuff. I paid just recently. I went to see Toy Story 4, and I paid a few bucks to see. I'm okay with that. Even if I don't land the gig. I love these things. So I handed my credit card without second thought. And he goes into the back office, and we're still chatting about things, and we're chatting about 50th anniversary of the moon landing, and there happens to be a lunar eclipse that day. Unfortunately, it's on the other side of the planet. We can't see it. But I got to see a video stream of it earlier today. That was nice. And he comes back with the receipt. It's $350, and obviously I tell him that I don't think I can do this. It's a little bit. I misheard you. I didn't tell him I thought it was $3.50. I said I misheard, and this is a little bit more than I thought it was. He said, "What did you think it was?" And in my mind, I knew he knew that I heard of it as $3.50. I was embarrassed to say it, and I said, "Well, why don't we return it? I really can't afford this right now. I mean, I'll think about it." In reality, I'm not thinking about it, but I tell him I'll think about it. At the point I don't have this money right now. He says he doesn't have the authorization to issue a refund. He had to get his manager. His manager wasn't in that day, and I didn't sign the receipt, so I didn't think much of it. I left, but my heart sank. not just because of a scam, but because I really liked the gig that he was talking about for the moon landing, but I'm not going to work for somebody that's going to start off by breaking my trust. And that's just a shame. The gig was nice, but his attitude was not. And what was really funny was I waited 2 weeks. He still hadn't refunded me. He gave me all these excuses. And then I called him and said, I don't know what's going on, but I really feel this is fraudulent. I might have to take this to court. And if I do, I looked up the law in Washington State of how much they could get fined for credit card fraud. And he got really nervous. Okay, I'm going to put him on the phone right now. And then he issued the refund. So that was good. I got my money back, but it caused a whole lot of grief in the time being. It makes me realize that, first of all, you really got to pay attention to what you're signing. And second, it made me pay attention to how when people leave out the units on numbers. See, I do a lot of tutoring in math and computer science and sometimes physics. It drives me nuts when the students don't put units on numbers. Sometimes catastrophic things can happen if we don't have units on numbers. So in 1983, Air Canada had a flight where they had mistakenly used pounds instead of liters for the amount of fuel, and the plane had landed in a racetrack as a result. And in 1999, we lost a rover on the way to Mars because we had newtons and pounds mixed up. What else has happened in the past? In 1986, I love to watch these investigation shows. Singapore had a building collapse, a hotel, because they had forgotten they had accounted for all the dead weight that was on the building, the stuff that would be added, including the people who were going to be entering the building, but they forgot about the weight of the building itself. And so it just makes me realize that units are very important. But unfortunately, the fact that people leave out units isn't just in tutoring. I sometimes see, well, obviously this is very clear in these examples, but sometimes when people talk about how much they're selling their house for, they never say the full number out. It's $280. Maybe I should go offer somebody $280 for a house, and when they accept, maybe just hand them $280, and see how well that goes. Anyways, it's a little bit upsetting, but Craigslist is full of stuff like this, which is really upsetting because the gig was very nice, but I'm not going to work for somebody who I have trust issues with right off the bat, and gotta be careful out there. Thanks for watching.